Mic check, mic check. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Hip Hop Snapshots. I'm your host, Ross Martinez, and today we're not talking about hits. We're talking about how hits are made and curated. Not through magic, not through momentum, but through money and marketing. We're peeling back the velvet curtain on two invisible forces that shape the music and the culture you consume. The first is Payola. It's the direct hand, the one that you know is there. But then the invisible one is target demographics. Something I deal with on a daily basis. This episode might get me in trouble. So, without further ado, grab that milk crate, take a seat. It's time to get me in trouble and talk hip-hop history. Let's start with the villain we all know, Payola. The term dates back to the 1950s when record labels were literally bribing DJs to spin their artists. It got so bad and so murky that Congress had to step in and solve the problem. They implemented the 1960 Payola Act, which made it illegal to accept money for airplay without disclosing where the funds came from. But here's the trick of it all. The game didn't stop, it just evolved throughout the eras. In the 2000s, Sony BMG got caught sending TVs and paid vacations to radio programmers. They paid upwards to $10 million fines. A couple years later, Universal got hit with the same thing, same action, but paid $12 million. Today, Payola wears a tux and calls itself a marketing budget. Promotional support, playlist pitching, it's the same play, but now it's dressed like a business plan. And artists have used their voice and platform to speak up against this. Joey Badass, a great artist from this generation, has said it's not about talent, it's about your label budget. Ebro from Ebro in the Morning on the East Coast, he admitted labels pay for influence. It's been happening. It's nothing new. Even Chance the Rapper out of my hometown, Chicago, an indie darling, called it out on a Hot Ones episode. You gotta have a label or a machine behind you to get on those playlists, period. Payola ain't dead. It's just got a suit and a spreadsheet now, unfortunately. But let's pivot to something even more sinister. Target demographics. See, Payola is a direct cheat code. But target demos, they pre-program what's allowed to win in this industry. As a program director, I program 90s, 2000s hip-hop and R&B station in Peoria. I know this truth too well. It's not about what's good, what moves the culture. It's about who we think is listening at the time and the target demographic. So when the corporate playbook says our demo is, quote unquote, Jessica, 38, suburban mom, 2 kids, loves Doja Cat, still thinks Usher is hot, and drinks iced coffee at noon, what happens? Well, I dilute the playlist. I don't spin Wu-Tang. I don't spin Tribe Called Quest, Pete Rock, De La Soul, because they tell me it doesn't test well. That's not curation. That's cultural laundering. And here's where it hits hard. When you design your playlist around ad dollars instead of the community, you're not selling music. You're selling a feeling of safety. One that erases everything that hip-hop was born to be. Remember when they told us streaming would free artists? No gatekeepers, no radio politics, just the people and direct product access? Damn lie. Because let me break it down for you. Spotify editorial playlists are curated by industry reps. YouTube algorithms, well, they favor major label dollars. TikTok trends are engineered rollouts with influencer teams attached to them. Even Spotify's discovery mode back in 2020 let artists boost placement in exchange for lower royalties. That's crazy when you think about it. That ain't independence, that's indentured servitude with an upload button, bro. And we can't get out of this conversation without talking about Billboard's Hot 100. Billboard's Hot 100 isn't a thermometer for the culture. It's a thermometer for what's been marketed most successfully. They weigh it on 3 things: sales, streams, and radio spins. But what fuels radio? Well, it's not taste, it's not culture, it's marketing dollars and demo testing. So a track like Kendrick's Not Like Us needs a movement behind it to chart. A track like The Heart Part 5 barely grazes airplay. And don't even ask about Griselda or Rhapsody, they'll never test well in a focus group. Billboard Hot 100 doesn't show what's real, it shows what's past the inspection. So here's where the knot tightens up a little bit more. Payola and Target demos aren't separate beasts, they're conjoined twins. One pays the gatekeeper, the other teaches the gatekeeper who to fear. We fear losing listeners, so we play what the spreadsheet says. And what do we lose when we start programming that way? Well, we don't risk to succeed. We lose the rawness of hip hop, and the revolution is over. But what's left? What do we have to work with? Well, familiar hooks, predictable patterns, cultural sedation disguised as hits. So let me ask you this to end the podcast. Are you really hearing your favorite song, or just the one that bought the right slot? Are you dancing to the beat, or are you dancing to the algorithm's metronome? Is that DJ really breaking records or just breaking under the pressure? Because hip hop was never meant to be safe. It was born to be loud, raw, and uncomfortable. But when the people stop programming it and the boardroom takes over, we don't get hip hop anymore. What we have is hip hop. All right, that's been another episode of Hip Hop Snapshots. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. Go dig in some crates. Trust your gut. Question the playlist that someone gives you. And above everything, be hip hop. I'm out. Peace.